In this lecture, we are going to talk about area plot. So I have added another file with the area data, so you can have this. It's attached to this lecture. Now, when you come to the area, you can make simple area. You can make multiple area plots. You can also have vertical, so which is flipped, and then also multiple flipped, and then you can also have complex area. So let's just start with a simple area. Now with a simple area, you can choose your XY pair. So I have years, so from 1950 to I think 2018, and then you have renewable energy resources from hydro, biomass, wind, solar, geothermal, and you can also go with single Y. So that one doesn't choose, it just gives you a random X, and then the Y's are plotted from your data set, but we'll go with XY. So let's choose X as year, and then let's choose Y as hydro, and head to finish. So we have something like this, and we can customize it with the stuff that we studied in the previous section. So let's just double click, and you can change the graph, or you can modify the graph, like the region, the grades, and all. And you can also change the axis from this section as we've already shown. But for the most important part is the data, is the plot. You can come in and change the data and you can also add symbols. So at the moment there are no symbols, so you're not seeing the data. But let's say we want to add this. Now we can see the symbol, and we can customize it as we've already shown. Maybe add color and change some of these stuff. And then we can also come into the lines, and we can add a line. So the line is not showing because it's gray, and the area fill is also gray. So let's go for, let's say, blue, and then you can change the type if you need. You can change the thickness. You can even add a gap. Let's go for this to fill the gap, and then you can go for, let's say, spleen, so it becomes nicer. So you can play along with this as well. And then you can come into area fill. So this is going to customize the area, and at the moment it's green, so you can go for, let's say, pink, and then you can choose pattern. So let's play along. You can choose whatever that you need in here as well. So you can choose your pattern. You can change the direction. So let's say this is down, so if you want to take it up, it points up, left or right, but we'll stick with down. And you can change the end color. You can also identify intersections if you have. We don't have that. And you can edit the transparency, the gradient, and all that, so your graph looks nicer. And now you can come to your reference lines, and if you need it, you can add it, and also your drop lines, which we've already shown. So one thing that I forgot to show was this in the previous sections. When you come to this point, you can change, or you can edit plot. So Sigma plot sees this as plot 1. However, you can close this, right click, and go to add new plot, and it's going to see it as plot 2. And then you can also come into graph page and select the graph, and then go to add plot, and it's going to add a new one. So let's just try. let's go to area plot and then sample area, and then let's go for XY. This time let's go for, let's say, wind, and head to finish. So we've added another one to it. Now when we come into the properties, we see plot 2, and you can come to plot 1. So let's say we want to change the area fill. Okay, now whatever changes that we make is for plot 1. If we head over to plot 2, whatever changes that we make is going to affect this as plot 2. So that is also something cool to note. And you can add, let's say, a different pattern, and then you can go to lines and maybe make this solid. Maybe instead of gray, let's make this another blue, and then make it a little thicker. Change this to spleen as well. Yeah, so that's something that I wanted to show. You can come to scaling and also change this to your X, and change this to, let's say, 1950, and then 18. So you have it nicely, and you can edit it and customize it to be a nice area plot. So that is something that I forgot to show previously. So for instance, we did multiple. You can use this as your first plot and then use this as your second plot as well. So that is basically it. Let's try more. You can also do multiple by itself. You can come in and then go to XY. Sorry, let's go for X many Y, because that's what we have. We have one X for many Y's. We don't have, let's say, this X is for this Y, then another X for another Y. So let's do this, and then let's choose this. So for multiple, let's go for all of it. Let's go for all of it in the Y's, and hit finish. So now you have multiple of them together, and this is very basic in terms of customization. So you would want to edit that. What you do is, let's start with the scaling. Let's choose the Y. Now let's go for X and choose this to 50, and then choose this to 18, and then let's come to this side. So let's start with, and then the area, you see that it chose a color scheme for us. So the color scheme is chosen. You can come in. If you choose a single color, it's going to affect all of it. So if you want multiple colors, you can come into color schemes, and you can choose whichever one that you need over here. So grayscale is selected. You can come in and choose whichever one that you need as well. And let's say if you choose, let's say, ocean, you can drop it down and then choose which one should be the first color and all. So that is also something interesting to note, and that also applies for the previous section that we did. So you can come in and just choose a color scheme itself. So let's choose, let's say, heavenly. Hit OK, and we have this, and we can play along. We can add, let's say, patterns to it and edit this nicely, and we can come back to, let's say, lines and make it thicker. So for the lines, you can also use a color scheme as well. So you can come in, and then I think we used heavenly, so let's just use the same, and you can have those lines, but sometimes you want the lines to show differently, so you can, let's say, just stick with one color, something like that, and you can just play along with this. So the difference is, once you plot multiple, many of the changes that you make affect the whole plot, because Xigma-Plot sees this as one plot, compared to if you plotted one at a time and you have many plots and you can change each one separately. However, you can also just come in and then select specific ones, and then you can change how they look as well. So you can let's say select this one, and then let's say we go for lines. Let's choose different lines. So the line change for this one, you can right click again, and then you can choose, let's say, red, and a change for that. So the same way, you can also right click in an area, and then you can modify some of the stuff in here, change the fill color, change the patterns and all that. So that is something useful to do, and I recommend that you just come in and play along with it. So the same way we had this pointing up, you can also choose these for vertical, so it's gonna point this way as well. So that is basically it for area plot, and you can always come in and customize your graph to make it very nice, as we've already done.